All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Ar-Chakadash, giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh, Bahashim Yahusha. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, who taught us truth. Shalom to the sincere brothers out there who are preaching this truth and edifying the brothers and sisters while shedding diligence. And shalom to the elect scattered brother. Today, as your brother Ayawab coming back at you today with another lesson entitled Trump Calls National Emergency. We gotta stay in these prophecies, man. We gotta continue to, as the scriptures say, watch and pray. Watch what's going on during the end times, man. What was be circumspect, I believe, about the times. So just go ahead and get into it. This is the top stories. It says Trump declared a national emergency in response to the coronavirus. Here's what that means. I ain't even looked at it yet. So this says, Trump's coronavirus national emergency declaration briefly explained. It's a declaration that guarantees a boost of funding to the states. It says President Donald Trump just declared a national emergency in response to the novel coronavirus outbreak the U.S. is facing. The act will free up federal funding for the states to use in response to the crisis, enabling them to tap into $42.6 billion that could be applied to tests, medical facilities, and other supplies. I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words, Trump said during remarks in the Rose Garden. The emergency declaration falls under the Stafford Act, which governs the federal response to public health and natural disasters. It was briefly used in a similar capacity by President Bill Clinton to address an outbreak of West Nile virus in New York and New Jersey in 2000. Says Senate Democrats earlier this week urged Trump to consider this option as state and local governments scramble to address the influx of patients who need tests and potential medical care. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the United States continue to climb, according to Johns Hopkins University. It says, given how contagious the virus is, experts estimate that hundreds of thousands of people could contract it in the coming months. The strain on medical systems across the country is only expected to grow. So let's go to that. It says it's going to get worse as WHO declares pandemic grim forecasts emerge. It says a rest. This is by Joel Achenbach, March 11th, 441. Hey, 441 right there. Spirit. A rash of alarming forecasts about the coronavirus pandemic emerged Wednesday. What is today? 13th. This was 2 days ago. The viral outbreak officially became a pandemic in the eyes of the World Health Organization, which cited the alarming spread of the disease called COVID-19 and the slow response of many nations to try to contain it. Said German Chancellor Angela Merkel said 70% of Germany's population could become infected. On Capitol Hill at a tense House of Representatives hearing, the nation's leading doctors did nothing to dispel the atmosphere of the gloom and anxiety. Let's watch this, see what this. If it gets out of the topic, I'm going to stop it.
Our first case of coronavirus was on January 21st, and the U.S. has tested approximately 4,900 people so far. In contrast, South Korea has already tested almost 200,000 people. They can test 15,000 people a day. South Korea can test more people in one day than we tested over the past 2 months. So, Dr. Fauci, why are we so far behind Korea in testing and reporting this crisis.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman Maloney. I don't like to pass the buck, but Dr. Redfield has the numbers and a little map that he might want to show you about that, because I don't have that in front of me.
Okay.
Right.
Is the worst yet to come, Dr. Fauci?
Yes, it is.
Can you elaborate?
Well, whenever you have an outbreak that you can start seeing community spread, which means by definition that you don't know what the index case is, and the way you can approach it is by contact tracing. When you have enough of that, then it becomes a situation where you're not going to be able to effectively and efficiently contain it. Whenever you look at the history of outbreaks, what you see now in an uncontained way, and although we are containing it in some respects, we keep getting people coming in from the country that are travel related. We've seen that in many of the states that are now involved. And then when you get community spread, it makes the challenge much greater. So I can say we will see more cases and things will get worse than they are right now.
And you heard it. That is National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease Director Anthony S. Fauci told lawmakers. That's what he told her. Things is going to get worse. So that's all I'm going to get right there. And I'm going to get into what it says, what the emergency declaration will do. It says the biggest impact of this declaration is that it will give states a boost in funding to address the need to pay more medical staff, bolster facilities, and treat patients. Under the Stafford Act, which was passed in 1988, once a president declares an emergency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is able to funnel money from its $42 billion disaster fund to various state governments. So they could put some FEMA camps down. It says this federal funding could bolster states and localities, localities, I don't know that are impacted by novel coronavirus, which the World Health Organization has proclaimed a pandemic. According to the letter, Senate Democrats sent the administration earlier this week. This declaration means that the federal government will cover 75% of cost sharing with states for specific resources related to coronavirus response, including medical equipment and vaccines. Yeah. You know, people haven't been really taking this seriously, man. Let's see if there's anything else. No. Yeah, they ain't been taking this seriously. I ain't gonna go into these other topics, though. I'm just gonna read the headings. It said efforts to control the coronavirus in the U.S. could get even more extreme. House moves to pass coronavirus economic relief package with Trump support. Contrary to Trump's claim, Google is not building a nationwide coronavirus screening website, whatever that means. It says, now what do I do? A pandemic hits the sports world. Economically vulnerable. Because I have other news that I want to get to. Get this one first. Now, this I ain't going to go deep into it. This is from Business Insider. This was today at 2:42 p.m. It says multiple experts say up to 70% of Americans could be infected with the coronavirus and 1 million could die if no treatment is found. So people over 60 should stay home unless it's critical. That's what we like to hear, man. It says the new coronavirus has killed 41 Americans and infected another 1,700. A panel of experts at the University of California, San Francisco predicts that between 40 and 70% of Americans could become infected within the next 18 months, one internist attending the panel said. It says assuming a 1% mortality rate from the coronavirus and 50% of the U.S. population becoming infected, That means about 1.5 million Americans could die. That's if no drug is found effective and made available. It says, according to the panelists, does anyone over 60 stay home? It says, in February, disease modelers from the CDC suggested between 160 million and 214 million Americans could be infected, and as many as 1.7 million could die. So, hey, man, that's crazy. Bring it on. And if the CDC was disease modeler from the CDC was suggesting this back in February, you would think that they would have done something about it in February, because we didn't really have. Did we even have a case in America? But they wanted to wait for whatever reason. So it says the U.S. is in throes of the coronavirus outbreak since February 29th. 41 Americans have died. The virus has spread to 1,700 across 47 states and Washington, D.C. More than half of U.S. states have declared a state of emergency. So according to a panel of infectious disease experts at the University of California, San Francisco, the outbreak on U.S. soil is only going to get worse. The panelists predicted that between 40-70% of Americans will become infected with the virus in the next 12 to 18 months. A Bay Area internist in attendance, Jordan Blau. After surpassing the threshold of infection, you can start to get herd immunity. So, that's what we like to hear. And so this assumed no drug is found effective and made available. But they also said that they can't get no vaccine, a good and working and treatable vaccine for a year to 18 months. Unless, they probably already have a vaccine ready. And then they're going to put that chip in there. So let's just go ahead. This is, if you want to read more, this is on businessinsider.com. Go to this other site. And this is from AXIOS.com. Now this is 2 days ago, March 11th, 2020. Congressional doctor predicts 70 million to 150 million U.S. coronavirus cases. Congress in-house doctor told Capitol Hill staffers at a closed-door meeting this week that he expects 70 to 150 million people in the U.S., roughly a third of the country, to contract the coronavirus. Two sources briefed on the meeting tell Axios. Man, that's U.S. The whole U.S. is going to be quarantined if it continued like this. And I'm going to see if I can find that video about that person saying within a week or two the U.S. gonna be quarantined. So a week or two, you never know don't know what's gonna happen. The quarantine, and then martial law. You never know what's gonna happen. That cashless society, get rid of the cash, cause they think that's what the cash, like, you get on your cash and then you spread it. Get rid of the cash, bring in that cashless society, one world order. Everybody come together to stop this, that, and the third. And then you got China and Russia and Iran saying that the U.S. is made it a biological weapon. Possibly. It said why it matters. It said that estimate, which is in line with other projections from health experts, underscores the potential seriousness of this outbreak, even as the White House has been downplaying its severity in an attempt to keep public panic at bay. So, come. If you want to read more, you can go to this Axios.com website. Let's get some scriptures. And you already know what I'm gonna bring out. Second Esdras, I believe it's 15, 16, I think 15 or 16. I'm just gonna I'm over butchering shit. Come on. Second Ezra 15 verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So when they put that quarantine out, you think you're going to be able to just go to another state or to another city, to another country, even country? You're going to have to stay in your home. So you're not going to be able to do nothing. These are just the beginnings of sorrows. The beginning of sorrows, man. It says, this second Ezra 15 verse 5 says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So this is just the Lord bringing out judgment. He's visiting the earth. These are plagues coming on the world because the Lord is wroth with these people, with these heathen. He's not going to suffer us to go down into Egypt. Right here, as it says, second Ezra 15 verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be spent with plague and punishment that the power shall bring upon it. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hell with the fearful consolation. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what's you think people are going to want to stay quarantined, especially in Babylon the Great, with these prideful spirits going around? You think they going to want to stay indoors? Because over in China and over there in China, that's communists over there, and that's like a dictatorship over there and over in Russia. So they can handle it. But over in America, it's a free home. It's the land of the free. Do what thou want. Do as thou want, spirit. And they ain't gonna want to stay. They're gonna start bucking up. Then especially Jake. And that's going to bring out that martial law, possibly. It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And as I read, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So you think, if let's just say they quarantine us for a while, Lord willing they do, people are gonna run out of food. What if you're not allowed to go get food? You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna get food somehow. And we come into some beautiful and trying times, brothers. We just gotta keep pushing. This is Matthew 24 and verse. And also, I'll get in a minute. Where's it at? I feel like I already passed it. I'm looking for, there it is. But I'm going to get this real quick. Amos 8, verse 11. This is, behold, Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai. And that's what's going to happen. If they put this quarantine out, of course, the brothers aren't going to be able to go out and preach the word on the highways and byways. We still going to be making videos, though. But what if that turns into martial law? What if they cut the internet off during this time? Then that's when this is going to take an effect. Hey, it's going to be no more. There's going to be no more. Trying get our people to come back to the Lord. No more of that. They just going to, as it says, Matthew 25, going to have to go to them that buy and sell, them foolish virgins. And also, this is 2 Timothy 4, verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. So they're not going to endure sound doctrine in that day, and they're going to try to do everything they can. But I'll end it on this. It says, this is it. Yeah. So this is Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we are hearing wars and rumors of wars. About airstrikes going on. Russia and China and Iran saying that it's having like that a conspiracy that the U.S. Made the coronavirus a biological weapon. You think that wouldn't be a good reason to go to war with America? Europe is mad about they said that Europe was furious about Trump doing that 30-day travel ban. And then so there's verse 7. So everybody's against Babylon. So everybody's starting to go against Babylon the Great, against America. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So these pestilences come. We've seen earthquakes. We've seen earthquakes, pestilences, and then that famine over in them locusts are trying to eat up all the crops over in the Middle East. When we had that flooding over in the over America, in the Middle East of America, or the whatever that is over there in like North Dakota and South Dakota over there. But come, we almost there. Let me see if I can find that. I ain't gonna look too long for it, but I'm gonna see if I can find that. I don't know where I would look though. See, famine is literally upon the wicked. Brothers posting the sales. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this video. Donald Trump declares national emergency, martial law in 8 states. I'll have to watch that. I don't know if I can find it. Coronavirus in Jamaica. Let's see. Let's see if it's on this one. It's like a minute video. I don't know if I can. And also the right here it says sister who works at the port revealed how the U.S. is receiving 0 imports. We're not receiving no food over here. I can't find it. Let me look at one of the, yeah, I can't find it. But if I find it, I'll put the link in the description box. This is like a minute long about somebody's saying that they know people in the military and who works for Congress or something like that, who said that within a week or two, we're going to be quarantined. But first and foremost, I'd like to say, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh Hashem Yasha, Hashem Ar-Kadas, giving our glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh Hashem Yasha, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, who taught the truth. Shalom to the sincere brothers out there who preaching this truth and edifying the brothers and sisters while setting distance. And shalom to the elect scattered abroad. Lord willing, this video is edifying to the spirit, to the body, to the fold. Until next time, keep pushing. Shalom.